Hi everybody, I'm Bryony Kennedy, the founder of Adorn Cosmetics, and today it's a really beautiful sunny day, so I'm heading out to a birthday party, and I thought I'd quickly show you a look that you could do that's really fresh, even beautiful looking skin without too much effort, and also a really nice, easy eye technique to do just to give some really good shape and definition to the eye that you don't need to be a makeup artist to do. So just to start with, to save time, I have put on my trusty essentials, which is the antioxidant facial oil, as well as the day primer moisturizer, which is a 2-in-1 product. I use those two products simply because I'm a little bit more dehydrated getting into the more mature years, and I just find that using the oil with the moisturizer not only prepares the skin for the foundation, but it also gives more of a dewiness and a skin-like appearance. So by doing that, I can wear any of the foundations from our range, whether it's loose, liquid, or the cream. Today I'm going to show you the liquid, and so what I've done is I'm going to use the light to medium shade. I normally demonstrate with the medium olive. I can wear either, and I'm also going to pop on the Skin Radiance Liquid Illuminizer. So what I do is I just pop 2 pumps of each on the brush to save time at the one time, and then what I'm going to do is just very lightly pop that all over my face. And then now with the kabuki brush, which is a flat top kabuki brush, I'm going to blend that all over the face. Now the liquid foundation is an oil-free foundation, so it's fantastic for people who have oily skin or are acne prone. If you like liquid foundation because you're a bit more old school like I am, or just for simplicity, you can wear it. But if you're a dry or a dehydrated, as I said, you do need to put a face oil underneath. A rosehip will do just fine, but I just love the antioxidant one that Adorn has, simply because it fights free radicals. So during the day it's helping fight pollution and that type of thing from landing on the skin. So you can see just with that couple of dots of each product, that's given a really nice light coverage. Now for those of you that have rosacea, which I have a little bit just here, the holes around the nose, the pigmentation damage, which you can see up there, you can then either grab a little bit more of the foundation. And the trick with foundation to look like your skin is to just put it where you need it most. You don't need to put it all over the face in thickness everywhere. It's really just blending it where you need it, okay? So I've just put a little bit more there. Now, I often get asked about concealer. So you do put it on after the foundation, and the simple reason for that is because the foundation gets rid of probably most of your flaws anyway, so you may not need concealer. The other reason is the minute you put your foundation on, you're just wiping it off, and concealer needs to be at its thickest to hide obviously the blemish that you're wanting to. The other thing to note is to always pop a little bit of the foundation down the neck, just a little bit underneath the ears, and if you're wearing your hair up, you might even pop a little bit behind there, so always blending it just below the jawline. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. The other thing that I'm going to do now is just very quickly, I'm going to just define my eyebrows just a little bit. The reason I'm going to do it now is because I'll probably get a little bit of fallout, and then if I put concealer on now, it's just going to mix in with that, and I'm going to end up with worse bags than I already have. So the brow dust that we have is a loose mineral brow dust. It's water resistant and sweat resistant, which is great because no one wants to lose an eyebrow halfway through the day. So the one I'm going to use is Peggy, which is our medium shade. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to define just a little bit on the ends where I'm a little bit more scarce. So with the angle brush that we have, the short side goes first. I'm just going to correct more so the arch just there, so you can see it's just given a bit more definition. And the same, I'm just a little bit sparse there, so in a straight line. Okay, and the same on this side for the short end of the angle brush first. And again, just up the top here. And I don't have many here, so just a straight little bit there. Okay, so a really good starting point for your eyebrows, if you don't have as many as say I do, is to basically, the beginning of your eyebrow should sort of sit with the edge of your nose. So you could put a little starting point there. Your arch should sit through the corner of your nose, your pupil. So here, and the end of your eyebrow should sit from the edge of your eye here to the edge of your nose here. So the middle is with this part of your nose, the arch is with your pupil, and then the end is with the corner of your eye. Because if your eyebrows go further down than this, it's going to give you a really droopy looking eye. So you don't want it too high because it gives you a really surprised look, but you also don't want it too low. Okay, so once you've popped that on and you're happy with the coverage or the definition, okay, then just to make it look really nice and natural, I just grab my blush brush, which has got usually remnants of blush or bronzer from the day before, and I'll just gently go over the eyebrow just to push the brow dust in a little bit further and just to get rid of any fallout that I've got there. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is pop on a concealer on the tops of my eyes. So I'm going to use a skin toned concealer, and the reason I do this is because it gives me an even canvas to work with before putting eyeshadow on, so it gets rid of any red or blue veins. It acts as an eye primer, so there's no need for these eye primer products that are on the market, because what it will do is just give a little bit of hydration to the eyes, just to give some more flexibility when you're popping on your eyeshadow that you want. So it just makes it easier to blend. So the colour that I'm going to use is Topaz from our loose mineral eyeshadow range, and it's a really nice taupe colour. So it's a colour that's complementary to most eye types, and it's what I would call a medium tone, so it's much easier to work with and blend than some of the darker colours. Okay, it is a matte, this one, so it's a little bit more forgiving, especially if you've got smaller eyes that you're a bit concerned about, or maybe more of a crepey eyes and you don't want to bring any attention to that. Matte eyeshadows are the better way to go. So I'm just popping a bit on a vegan brush, and Adorn is bringing out some eyeshadow brushes, so stay tuned, but at the moment I'm just using another one, and I'm just using a really fat dome at the top, but it's a flat sort of brush. And what I'm going to do is, keeping in line with my eyebrow and the edge of my eye, I'm going to place right on my eye socket, just above it there. That's where I'm going to start. I'm not going to start in here, because most times what will happen is you'll be blending and then blending down, and then you give that droopy look. So if you give yourself two starting points, no further out than your eye and the edge of your eye, and you just start right on the brow bone almost, I suppose, not the, well, eye socket really. Okay, so they're my starting points, and that's going to stop me from blending down. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just, now I've only dipped once and a really small amount. Adorn pigments are not synthetic. We do not make them. They come from the earth. So whatever we get from the earth, we mix to create these colors. So a small amount of pigment is needed. You do not need near as much as what you would with some of the traditional brands on the market. So really go easy. And I always, with a loose mineral, just pop a bit on the brush, then use the lid to swirl it just to get it nice and even on the brush, and then you don't really get any of that fallout. Now I'm doing my eyes first before anything else other than the foundation, because then if I do get any fallout on my eyes here. I haven't put any concealer on, and it's not going to cause any issues with getting any grayness from the eyeshadow falling into concealer. So I'm just literally following my eye socket now. Okay. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm not even going to blend it anymore at this point, because what happens is most people will keep blending it with this brush, and the same brush they've applied the eyeshadow with, and they'll blend it and blend it and blend it. What I'm going to do is now grab a clean brush, which I always keep a really big one that I don't use anything for but for blending. So what I'm going to do now is just tickle the edge of this eyeshadow here. Then that's instantly blended that for me. And then the same, I'm going to go over here and just tickle the edge there. And that's just really nicely blended any noticeable lines. Okay, so that's a really simple way of giving the eye some really nice definition without too much fuss. It's almost borderline a smoky eye for some people without too much of a fuss. Okay, so it's really opened up my eyes, and it's something that you can do really quickly. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is grab a similar brush, and I'm going to, just to define my eyebrows a little bit more, put an eyeshadow on called Invincible, which is a shimmer eyeshadow. If you do have quite crepey areas, I would recommend just going back to the base eyeshadow, which is our matte nude, to do what I'm about to do. Otherwise, if that's not a concern, you can use the Invincible, which is a grey sort of shimmery product. I nearly tipped half of that out. And all you need to do is just pop that up here. And you might not see it as much in this light, but you can see a little bit of a shimmer there. So what that does is it just gives a really nice, see, you can see it there, nice definition to under the brow area. You can pop a little bit of that in the corners of the eyes as well if you wanted to. So just in here to brighten up the eyes, because it's a really nice white. So yeah, you can see that's really opened up my eyes there. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is just pop another colour. Sorry, a bit more of that Invincible just in the ball of my eyes there, just to help blend the inside of that brown. Okay. Now, before I finish off my eyes, I'm going to now put on a bit of eyeliner. And we've got two eyeliners. We've got the skinny eyeliner, which is our mineral and organic, and we've also got a chubby eyeliner, okay? The reason I like the chubby is because if you're not really good at straight lines, this particular one goes on more as a bit of a smudge. You can make it go on as a line if you want to, but for this particular look, I'm just going to show you how even if you're not very good at eyeliner, you can define your eyes really quickly. So it's starting again using the eyebrow as a bit of a guide, so coming down and then just put a little dot. So it's almost going to be just above the edge of your eye, because again, we don't want the eyeliner to start where your eye actually ends, because it's going to be droopy, okay? So I'm starting it here at that line, and then I'm just doing the outer third, okay? So that's that there. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is grab my angle brush, because an angle brush obviously is always going to stay straight as opposed to an eyeliner, which gets more blunt each time you use it. And I'm going to get that to straighten out the line, fix any wonky bits. And notice I'm coming in ways, I'm not blending out for this part. And voila, we're done. So just this outer third of the eye, which will open the eye up. It's easy to do because the minute you sort of get to the mid part of your eye, most people will just get it really fat and wonky, and it just ends up really fat and thick, the line in here. And what that's going to do is draw your eyes closer together. So you want all your volume and all your dark colors and contour of your eyes out this way, because it's going to give that illusion of being a really nice almond shaped eye. So if you're not good at eyeliner, just put the eyeliner from here to almost this part of your eye, or the edge of your iris, and then just blend it with a kabuki, an angle brush. Or if you don't want to line at all, you can just go back to using, say, your eyeshadow brush and just blend it a bit too. So it becomes part of your eye shadow rather than it being a line. Okay, for those of you that want to wear eyeliner underneath, I'll show you that later. But now I'm just going to quickly just get rid of any fallout I might have got from the eyeshadow. I'm now going to grab the all-time popular Adorn product, which is the Peachy Sleep Concealer. Peachy Sleep Concealer is always a sellout product for us. The reason for that is it's been specially formulated for under the eye. Being a mum of 3 boys, and if you can hear them in the background, I'm always sleep deprived and I've got really black circles under my eyes. So for me, this Peachy Sleep is a corrective. It's got a salmon or an apricot undertone, and what that does is correct black or blue. It's fantastic for people that have just that as an issue. If you have puffy eyes, it will not be suitable for you, because light colored things will make that area look bigger. You're much better to select our mineral and organic concealer range, which is skin toned, and you pick the concealer that matches your foundation color. Okay, and then what that will do is eliminate the dark circles as well as the puffiness. But this particular Peachy Sleep is perfect for people who don't have puffiness but have really dark circles under their eyes, and you just pop it in the real far corner here. We're all black in there, and forget about it, and pat it on like an eye cream. None of this rubbing business. It's not good for the eyes, but also you want it to blend and soak into the skin. Okay, so if you have issues, or like I've still got a bit of pigment damage up here and you want to correct that, that's when you would use a normal concealer, which, as I said, is the mineral and organic range. They're skin colored concealers, so you would match that in with the foundation that you're using. Okay, so I would just pop a little bit up here. Again, it's over the top of the foundation. Okay, if you wanted to though, and it's just a little bit of pigment damage up here, which is what I do, is I just use a little bit of bronzer. Okay, and then it acts as a contour, but it also just helps blend that pigment damage as well, rather than having to have any thick concealers up there. So I've shown this in other videos. So all you do is about 1 inch from the hairline, blend it onto the forehead into the hairline. Okay, now don't worry if you can see it like that for the moment. Just get it on as a nice contour, a little bit under the cheekbones and along the jaw. Okay, and so, because I'm a little bit pasty, well, I'm not pasty, but I'm a little bit fairer than I like to be. But now that has given that side of my face just a really nice lift. And what I love about this concealer too is it automatically makes your cheekbones look bigger as well, because this area's made lighter things look bigger. So what I'm going to do now, before I do the other side, is grab the kabuki brush with its little bit of foundation that would be still on it from the application at the beginning, and I'm going to now use that to seamlessly blend away any obvious application of that bronzer. So you can see that just this side of my face just looks a little bit healthier. Each to their own, everybody has their way of doing things, but that's just something I like to do. So popping this up here. Now obviously this particular look, because it's incorporated the eyes, is not going to take 1 minute. It's not a minute tutorial. You can see some other tutorials I've done if you're time poor or feeling that this is a bit too much for you, but you still should be able to get this done within 5 to 10 minutes once you've got the hang of it. Okay, because all of the minerals in the Adorn range blend for you. They all work in synergy together. looped together so that you're not getting all of this discoloration and getting obvious signs of streaks that you may get with some of the other brands that have silicons and mineral oils and really thick bulking ingredients, which we don't use. All of the products are made from the same base, which is pure mineral, so they all link really nicely together and blend seamlessly. And what I love about being a mum, regardless of whether my experience in the industry, it's still easy. You know, as a makeup artist, I still don't have time to spend 2 hours doing my makeup, okay? So I've done the bronzer, which has given me a really nice contour. It's given a lift. It's helped just blend some of that pigment that I've had. You can see that's really gone, so I've not had to worry about concealer. Now I'm going to pop my favorite blush on, which is the Summer Pink blush. It looks really bright, but it's actually not. The trick with cream blushes, and yes, you can use a cream blush over our loose minerals or the liquid, it doesn't really matter because again, they've all got the same base, they work together, is I just pop a little bit on one finger, blend it on the other. Edge of the eye, halfway through the nose is a good starting point. Any lower than that and it will drag the face down. Okay, we don't want that. Unless you have got a really round face, then yes, you might take your blush down a little bit further to give the face a little bit more of a drawn look. But for everybody else, it's just this bit here. And all I'm doing is dabbing that. Okay, so that's done. Now, the next thing to do is to pop on some mascara. Okay, mascara is a personal thing. Some people like it really long and thick. Some people just want to coat their own lashes. I'm not going to spend too much time doing them because it's very difficult doing it in a phone tutorial. But what I will say is that when you're putting mascara on, the trick is to focus on the outer third lashes. Again, it's all about this part of your eye out here. So the more you do out here, the bigger the eyes are going to look. The more you do in here, they're going to look closer set, okay, and smaller. So it's all about putting a coat, and second coat, and then maybe just lastly tickle a little bit in there. Yes, you can put some underneath, but I would just pop it on the outer third. Okay, getting back to eyeliner. Yes, you can put eyeliner under your eyes, but again, I just take it to this part of my iris. Again, I'm reiterating what I've said about 3 times already, and that is simply because putting it out corner will give bigger eyes. So unless you've got really big eyes that you are trying to minimize a little bit, you may put the eyeliner the whole way if you want to. But if not, most of us tend to have smaller than larger eyes. It's just this outer third, okay? And so if you're struggling with eyeliner sticking or staying put for you, then you can actually then with your angle brush pop a bit of the brow dust over the top to seal it, a little bit like the old school days where you would put setting powder over the top of your foundation to set it. It's the same for your eyeliner. So just come back, which I'm doing now, and set it with some of your brow dust or an eyeshadow. Okay, so I don't use black eyeliner. I find it really, really harsh. Really dark brown is all you need to use. If you're someone who wears eyeliner in the rim, that's fine. I'm not a massive fan of it because again, it makes the eyes look small. If you do that, there is no eyeliner I'm aware of that stays there permanently. You will need to take the eyeliner with you and keep continuing to do that. But I would say make sure it's natural because the eye is one area of the body that absorbs things very, very quickly into our system. So you don't want any chemicals. And I've had lots of operations on my eye, so I'm very conscious of that. Okay. To finish off, there's 2 things you can do now. You can either be happy with what you've got, pop on some lipstick, or if you're feeling like, oh, I'm a bit dehydrated today for whatever reason, or you want more of a dewy look, the Bulgarian rose water, which is pure rose water, it is not a synthetic fragrance. This is shipped from Bulgaria off the rose fields there, so we always run out of this. You can spritz your face with this to give a dewy appearance. Now, being that Adorn is water resistant, you can do that and that's fine. You could do that during the day to freshen your makeup up. Rose water retains the moisture levels in the skin, so it really keeps it beautifully hydrated. So it's great if you're in an office environment. Or if you're someone who wants a little bit more of a matte finish, or you do have very oily skin, the setting or the oil control setting powder, which is a pure mineral, it looks white, goes on clear. You just dust a little bit of that over your T-zone or wherever you need it, and you may want to take that with you during the day, but all of our products tend to last 8 to 12 hours anyway, so you may not need it other than your T-zone. So to finish it off, thank you for bearing with me. I hope that this has helped someone in respects to the eye makeup. I'm now putting on our new Zaza Coral lipstick. So this is in our Style Icon range. I just love coral. It's my favorite color. And I've popped that on, and that will stay for quite some time. It's not color stay, but the pigments are really strong, so I won't have to touch up that. So thank you for tuning in. I hope that this has helped you with just a really quick glamorous look. It's not a glamorous look that will take an hour, but yes, it's a little bit longer than your usual day-to-day makeup, but hopefully I've given you some tips that will help you with your eye shape. Bye.